everybody, my name is Eric Hopkins and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, we've had a little bit of news on the DC front from Warner Brothers and the DCEU. We had a report from the Hollywood Reporter discussing the new Black Superman film that is in development from J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot. I did a video on that where I discussed that highly controversial topic on my channel, so check it out. But I want to focus on a little bit more of that article that was a little bit overlooked by some, and obviously we've had some people discuss it as well. But it's one line in the article that discusses the new Joker sequel to Joaquin Phoenix's Joker film that came out a little over a year ago or so. So let's check this out here. This is the part I want to focus on here. It says DC sees its upcoming Flash movie, which began production in April, as its way forward to this post-Snyderverse world with the inclusion of such characters as Supergirl and Michael Keaton's Batman. One thing Flash does is set up DC with a multiverse that allows for many of these incarnations and story universes to coexist and have superheroes interact. So far, every movie and TV show, with the exception of Matt Reeves' The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, and set for release next March, and HBO Max's spinoff Gotham PD, and Joker, and here's the key, its planned sequel will take place in the same universe. So, I mean, obviously DC has got grand plans for their properties right now. And obviously we've got the main DCEU timeline with Wonder Woman, Aquaman, The Flash, Ben Affleck's Batman, and Henry Cavill's Superman, as far as we know for the time being, until that Flash film may correct some stuff. That is the key to that timeline. So keep that in mind. The Robert Pattinson Batman film and Gotham PD are set apart from that. They have nothing to do with it. Kind of like the Dark Knight trilogy. Has nothing to do with the Man of Steel, Justice League timeline. And according to this article, we are also, of course, obviously, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is also set apart from that timeline. And that's good. It gives directors and producers, the ability to create new stories without having to worry about, pre-existing canon and stuff from the timeline already. And it worked out well for Joker. I believe I want to say it was nominated for awards and things like that, and it was a very good film. It was a very deep character study of what can happen to a normal human being. Well, he had some like speech impediments and stuff like that, but someone who was pushed too far by society, and how you can maybe go bad just by having a bad day. So I thought that film was very well done. It's not your typical Joker version or telling of the character, but I thought it was more award-winning drama type film, to where it really delved deep into character development, and I really appreciated it for what it was trying to do. And apparently, according to this article, that one line there where it says it's planned sequel, now we've kind of already knew that they were talking about maybe doing a Joker sequel. Well, this seems to be, or according to this article, that those plans are still in effect. So that's the headline here. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, it looks to be getting a sequel. And I think that's great. I mean, I can't wait to see where they take this. I mean, the way the film ended off, obviously, he minor spoilers, he does become the Joker by the end of that film, obviously. So, I mean, most of the film, though, was mostly just him as a person developing into that persona and, getting into that mindset of the crazed psychopath that is the Joker. So it's a different, like I mentioned before, a different interpretation of that character. So I'm interested to see where maybe they would go with this. And again, since all this is set apart, it gives them the freedom to do that. You don't have to, this doesn't have to be tied to any Batman. It's just set in its own world. Now, you could introduce a Batman into this version. I mean, we've already got multiple Batmans with Robert Pattinson and Ben Affleck right now. And it looks like Michael Keaton's coming back as well. So you can do all that sort of stuff. This is the beauty of the multiverse. A lot of people are so set on what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing. And don't get me wrong, absolutely amazing. I love the MCU. It's one of my favorite series and franchises out today. But here's the thing. They are all in a singular story path. And that's great. But this is something I would like to see Marvel do, is branch off and have these one-off films that have nothing to do with the main timeline. And that's great because it gives the opportunity to tell more stories and things that, like we can go see a different version of Iron Man doing some other stuff, or a different version of Captain America. Maybe he joins Hydra, because that was a comic book thing. And I know they kind of teased it a little bit in the MCU a little bit, but who wouldn't want to see that? Like, what? DC's been doing this for years, especially when it comes to their animated stuff. I mean, who wouldn't want to see like a Red Sun Superman, or, where he lands in Russia instead of Kansas. Wouldn't that be cool to explore on TV or on film? There's nothing wrong with doing these one-off or set apart from the normal timeline movies that give audiences a chance to have a different take on these classic, iconic characters. And there's nothing wrong. The animated, like I said, the animated DC stuff has been doing it for years. They had like a timeline that they stuck with the movies that tied together. And then they also had certain movies that were set apart and were on their own, and it made for good storytelling. And there's nothing wrong with doing that in the live action stuff. It's just the audiences today are so preconditioned to feel like that this is not the way to do things because of what the MCU has done. But that doesn't mean because the MCU does it that that's the only way to do it. DC can branch off and try something different to set itself apart from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that's probably what they need to start doing to be successful. It's just that audiences have to reprogram their mind and understand that there are more than one way to skin a cat, so to speak, and we can be successful trying alternate ways of doing things. So in the case, kind of like the Black Superman case, I welcome that. I can't wait to see a different interpretation of the character. That doesn't mean Henry Cavill's out, by the way, but that's in my other video. You can go check that out if you want to see more on that. But as for the Joker sequel, great. I can't wait to see more. Joaquin Phoenix killed it in that role, and I cannot wait for another one. We'll see when that comes out, if it comes out, but that was mentioned in this article, and I thought it was worth mentioning. But what do you guys think? Are you guys excited to see a sequel to the Joaquin Phoenix Joker film? If you are, if you're not even, comment down below, hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications about when I put up new content on my channel. And until my next video, guys, take care.